this video is all about my top 5 places for hiding tools and parts on your motorbike. Now the great thing about hiding tools and parts is that they're always there. If you break down, they're there. If your mate needs them, they're there. You're never thinking about packing them before a trip, they're just always there, ready to go. Another positive is that you don't have to pack any tools or parts in with your luggage when you're on a trip, which means you have more space for the essentials and less to worry about. Alright guys, my first top place to hide tools and parts is actually in the air filter box. Now, if I just pop this off quickly, unfortunately this will probably only pertain to people who have the smaller Enduro dual sport bikes. Perhaps there are bigger bikes that have the same layout. Obviously it'll depend on what you have. But there's a massive space here, a massive cavity at the bottom and as well here towards the side panel. You can easily store tire irons, spark plugs, a little toolkit if you wanted. Just lay it in there underneath the air filter at the bottom, strap it down somehow, and hey presto, you've got a quick and easy access to tools and parts. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love this one. Coming in at number 2 is under seat storage. Now, if you have a KTM 690 or a KTM 950, not that I'm biased, but you'll have a handy little switch or lever under here, which just means the seat comes off now that easily. Now my WR250R or the 501 or even my 300 EXC, you have to take bolts out. So obviously you can still do it, but with these systems where you have a little lever, super quick. Now as you can see, I've got my tube and I've got my tools here in the back. So tools underneath the tail and the tubes directly under the seat. Now obviously this 950 just happens to have a massive amount of storage underneath the seat. Your bike may differ. Just like my WR. My WR hasn't got that much space under the seat, but I still have, I believe, my spark plug. I think I've got some steel kneaded. A few little extra things in there just shoved in there that just won't take up that extra room in my luggage. Coming in at number 3 for the best place to hide a part or a tool is actually your crash pad. Your crash pad here on the handlebar. Now I'm going to admit I haven't done it yet, but it's a great place because it's so handy. It's right there, right? One, poof, you've got it out. Now what people do is they carve a little bit of an area out of the crash pad and then they hide their tools and little parts. So some guys hide screwdrivers so they can whip it out and adjust the suspension on the fly. Even I think a lot of the 2-stroke Enduro guys, they'll put their spark plugs in the crash pad actually, because they obviously have a higher chance of fouling their plugs. So obviously it's not a place that you can store massive items, but still for just a little bit of real estate right in front of you that's got easy access, you really can't beat the crash pad hiding idea. Number 4. Now when I was a teenager, a good friend of mine once told me any hole is a goal. Now I've taken that and used it on the WR250R, particularly the subframe. Now there are 2 exposed holes on the rear, and then that's just from the subframe. They're 2 tubes and they don't have any blanking caps. So I've threaded fuel line into the rear subframe. You can also do it on the front handlebar. If I wasn't running bark busters, I could utilize the holes, put fuel line in there, put cable ties, whatever I want. But I've opted with fuel line in the rear. Now that's great for siphoning fuel from your bike to a friend's when they run out of fuel. You can also obviously repair fuel lines, you can repair vacuum lines. It's just a good idea to carry a decent length of any sort of tubing with you. But just remember to cap the ends of that tubing. You don't want to get dust in there because obviously the tubing is going to be sitting on your bike for a long time and there's going to be a lot of ingress there. You don't want to be siphoning fuel and pulling dirt through the tube into your mate's bike. My last tip for you guys Right, that involves hiding things on your motorbike's frame. Things like spare clutch levers and spare brake levers, tire irons, your larger spanners or even adjustable spanners, anything large and bulky and heavy, you can not bolt, but you can cable tie to any part of your frame. On this WR, I have a spare set of levers cable tied underneath my rear subframe. My mate Chris, he does it in the area of the frame just above the bash plate and just below the head stem. He also metal cable ties to the rear subframe down there. There's just so much real estate on your frame where you can just hide things and cable tie them down. They're not going to go anywhere, they'll always be there. And that's, I suppose, is the whole point of this video, is to be able to hide things on your bike so that they're there when you need them. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Now, if you have any ideas that I haven't listed here, please put them in the comments down below. I'm going to read them and try and figure out where else I can put parts and tools on my bike. I really think it's a worthwhile activity. It'll help you in the long run when you're stuck somewhere and you wish you brought something. You just know it'll always be on your bike and you'll never be in one of those situations.